Yeah, but I got a better tip. Okay,
Okay.
my better tip. Okay, simple one, very good tip. Make use of public spaces. Okay, this is the tip that I don't understand why Singaporeans are not doing it. Hello everyone, my name is Reggie. Welcome to TFC's very own Budget Royale. Yes.
Yeah. I'm ready. Let's go.
It's like Gladiator, like that.
Yes, right. This is a series sponsored by OCBC 360, OCBC's very own high interest savings account. I'll tell you a little bit more about it later in the podcast. But yes, today joining me on this Royale, right? Who else is here?
Rakaesh here, as usual, from the TFC team. Yes, let's go. I'm gonna win.
My post producer will hate you for screaming to the mic, but yes. And we are joined with...
Hello everyone, I'm Lisa. I run Lisa's Adulting in Singapore on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Josh. I'm not going to do some flexing. We'll leave it to the strong man over there.
So yes, we got strong contenders today in our inaugural Budget Royale, right? Essentially, the mechanics of the Royale is very simple, right? We got 3 categories, right? And the 3 categories are household expenses, wealth accumulation, and recreation and enjoyment. I refuse to use entertainment, the word, because I don't want to be entertained. I want to enjoy. Okay, but we don't go there. There's semantics, But anyway, it's 3 categories, and every round, every one of us will throw out one tip, our strongest tip on this category, and then we will vote against each other. Okay, and if this thing really blows out, then maybe you get a chance to vote, or you might want to put in the comment section who do you think is the rightful winner of the category. And at the end, the person that wins the most category will be the inaugural TFC Royale.
It got price now, huh?
Yeah. I will figure something lah. Eventually we'll get there. Maybe season 2, second Royale, right? And if you think you're better than us, you come. Okay, email hello@thefinancialcoconut.com. Yeah. But okay. So let us start with the simplest one. Okay, round 1. Okay, household expenses. Which is a big part of most people's spending categories, right? So yes, who wants to start first? Like household expense. What's your number 1 tip for our audience?
Maybe ladies first.
No, I want to say for last. I want to see what you're saying.
Go, Josh.
I go first.
Yes. Yeah.
The thing that comes to my mind is something that is probably the biggest expense item on everybody's books if you own a house, which is mortgage. So, back in 2011, I bought my first house, first marital home. And back then, I thought property prices were going up. So I was thinking, hey, should I buy something big that's my biggest budget, or should I go for something small? So in the end, I convinced my wife. I told her, hey, prices are going too high. Maybe it'll cool. Let's buy something small. So my first marital home was just a 3-room HDB flat. Oh. And the condo was very small, just $300,000+, which you could afford comfortably. That kept the mortgage expenses very low, fully paid by my wife's CPF alone. Yeah, and that would allow me to have more free cash flow to do things. So I would think that, the biggest expense item that I saved up is on mortgage.
It's actually quite counter the mainstream culture now, right? I think a lot of young couples will think like, okay, try to get the most out of it, get the biggest HDB that you can get. But you take quite a different direction on it.
Yes, correct. So when you commit to a big loan, you realize that you pull up all your CPF away, pull up your cash flow. Unless you don't like investing in the stock market, then you want to bet everything on the property market, then that's fine. But I do think that there's certain logic to spacing out your assets. You can save and do other things with your free cash. And I think that was a decision that allowed me to build my portfolio.
Nice.
Maybe faster than some in my age group.
Nice.
So again, there's a trade-off. Of course, the house is very small, but you keep expenses low, then you can reach early retirement. Precise manner.
Can give us a bit of color, like how much are you paying for your mortgage and in the ballpark?
Oh, so back then the price of the flat was 373,000. So if you count it right, within 1,000 per month mortgage, you can actually settle it already.
Oh my
Very simple.
goodness.
Actually, that's really good as well.
That's
like,
awesome.
In all fairness, I was going to bring that up, but
Yeah.
First person's first. Get
That's
the
why go
fresh
first.
start.
First person go get it, right? You see, you should have
And
come
I
here.
would
Where's
say
the
that
royalness
I
in
know,
this?
it's okay. Let us go first. But I was gonna say like that. I think for me as well, like I got my place for 370,000 for a room in 2019, and until today I think that is the best purchase I've ever done. Firstly, I'm the only one in that house because my wife is not a Singaporean. Because initially we wanted to go for like a 600,000 house, right? 2 incomes, can afford a little bit more. But then when,
Quite typical. Quite typical.
Yeah, quite typical, right? And then the government said, HDB said, hey, cannot, your loan cut in half. your salary cut in half.
Because your spouse is not
Not
a
counted
local.
already,
Okay.
right? So they cannot count anything there. Then I was like, oh no, now what do we do? And we were like, okay, let's look at something, because we didn't want to rent, we were renting. And then I was like, okay, let's look at something in this area. We put out a map, and then we say, okay, we don't want to stay in Woodlands, we don't want to stay in Sembawang. Everywhere else until Clementi to Kambangan, I will stay until Yio Chu Kang.
Okay.
That way. Then I go
Yishun
and
is part of it.
Yio Chu Kang is not. Yishun,
Okay,
Yio Chu Kang.
okay, Yishun not accepted also.
Yeah.
right?
So, I mean, my opinion, right? Yeah.
Cancel
then
him. Cancel him.
From there was only 4 houses or 3 houses that we could actually look at.
Mm.
We looked at it and then just bought it. And until today, it's the most blessing in disguise, because my mortgage is $900, which means my CPF, I don't even look at it. It just goes in and goes out.
Yeah.
And like everything you get in your bank account, because it's post CPF, is immediately disposable.
Mm.
And I think that
We've all heard of friends who still need to cough out a lot of cash per month,
Yes.
like thousands, because some of them buy condos and they would pull up a lot of the cash flow. Then they have kids, the family grows bigger. Then, that's where the inflation of expenses really start to kick in.
Yeah.
So the first thing you can control, in my opinion, is always the mortgage.
Stress.
your fix.
Okay, but that one is his point, not
Exactly,
your
yeah.
point.
Yeah, no, my point,
His point. Yeah.
first
So
month.
he's throwing in mortgage, manage it. Okay. What's your point?
Wow. Mine, I would say, besides living in HDB, which I think is a necessity because of all the rebates that we get as well.
Yeah, just on the rebate, right? I have friends who live in 3 rooms, right? And then their income is quite healthy, but a lot of these rebates are built on the house.
Yes.
It's not built on the income, right? So end up, all your SNC charges, everything all like as good as don't have, right? Is that your common experience?
I think it's a very minimal amount.
Yeah, very minimal.
Yes.
Yeah, all the rebate
Correct.
add together. So yeah.
It is, yeah.
Naughty
It is.
people, hacking the system.
No, it is a right.
okay, it's alright. Yeah. But yes, other than that,
So other than that, I would say the biggest thing that I try and budget what is in the house. Now, I don't mean the fixed expenses. I don't mean the furniture or the TV or whatever you want to buy, but the variable expenses, which is, for me, the biggest one is groceries, right? Because we cook a lot at home. So what we try and do is we budget out the groceries for the month. And how we do that is every week we will come up with a meal plan, not meal prep, but a meal plan. Monday lunch is this, Monday dinner is this. All the way, we have a little whiteboard thing we got from online to then write what we're making. And then from there, we then write down what we need to buy. And then we go and buy it. And then we come back. So that's effectively what we do. So we don't shop on a daily basis to the groceries, because when you shop on a daily basis, you're going to find the extra piece of chocolate that you really like, and the extra piece of hash brown that you really want. And all
those
of
are what
these
the
things.
aisles are created
Yeah,
for, right?
yes.
It's done that way to
There's
get
a-
you to spend more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a reason the milk and the bread is always at the back of a supermarket, right? So that's what we do. And based on that, we then limit our expenses, and we know, okay, this is the biggest cost. This is what we do. But it also saves time, because now we don't need to spend half an hour thinking, hey, what to have for dinner?
Yeah.
Hey, what to have for lunch? Because it's already written.
Okay. So how much do you all spend in terms of like groceries?
Well, we have increased it since. We were limiting it to about 100 a week.
Oh, that's quite
But now
good.
we're about 150 a week.
For 2 people?
2 people.
2 people.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
My own food budget is $400 for myself.
No, but
Yeah.
this is, groceries lah, not eating out lah.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess your food budget will really it'll vary depending on what your situation is. So for myself, my food budget, I had the same idea. Like I was gonna say, don't buy pre-packaged or ready-to-eat meal. So no snacks. That's my rule to myself. And I know this depends on like your personal preference. And if I do buy, I tell myself I cannot buy another until I finish this bag. And most of the time, it takes me so long to finish that bag because I just don't eat it.
Also those like pre-packed fried chicken, those kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? It's like the chicken inside is like 20%, outside all flour. Right? I tak boleh tak hard, that thing not nice at all. But people buy. Oh my god, don't. But yeah. So what is your tip for household expense? How does Lisa save the most money? I mean, other than checking her channel.
It's quite lame, but it's to
It's
use.
okay, you may win on the lame point. Yes.
It's to use credit cards.
Oh,
I feel like
OCBC credit card, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. What else? What else, right?
that's an option.
Is it?
Yeah.
The best option.
It is.
No, but a part of the OCBC 360 account is that you got to spend with the OCBC credit card, right? So every month you got to spend 500, and if you spend 500 with the OCBC credit card, then you get extra interest rates as part of this OCBC 360 account.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you get cashback with the credit card?
Oh,
Or
it
miles?
depends on different cards.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are many participating cards, right? I think,
Oh, so that means whatever the credit card has is one perk.
Yes, that is
but
the credit
at the
card.
same time, because you're using the credit card already, you're getting the
Extra
interest.
interest.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
it's
mean-
jumbo together, benefit on benefit. Yes.
I mean, whether it's cashback or miles, that is still something else that you're getting that you won't get with a debit card. And I think there's a lot of reluctance, like young people and old people. Oh, that's so mean, old people. It's
Lao
a
nang, lao nang ke lah. Old people.
She just
old
cancelled
people.
herself.
I just-
It's okay. It's
Oh,
fine.
no.
Yeah. We're not ageist. We're not ageist. We welcome old people.
but
the
it-
more I
yeah.
say, the more I swear. Old people. Yeah. Diversity, inclusion, people. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, it's not just that like older folks are resistant to credit cards. I see some of my younger friends also, like they don't want to move to a credit card because it's a bit scary, right? Like there's the thought of the annual fees and then the interest rates if you cannot pay off your bills. But if you use it just like you would a debit card, you're getting a lot of benefits that you won't get if you were just using a credit card, you're just using a debit card. So back when I was still using a debit card, firstly, the money is deducted like almost automatically from my bank account, whereas with a credit card, like I can space out my bills towards the end of the month. But the trick here is, of course, to use it like you would a debit card, and then you can like reap all the benefits of using a credit card, like cashback, miles. For myself, I use a credit card with cashback, so every month I consistently get maybe $40 to $50 of cashback just by spending on that card. Like I could have used the same debit card and get nothing from the things that I would have been spending on anyway. So I have the credit card for myself. I also do a supplementary credit card for my mom. So she buys all the groceries, her bus fare, and then you just get like $50 every month from doing nothing, like doing what you normally would anyway.
And also got scam prevention element to
Yeah,
that.
the fraud protection.
Yeah, fraud protection because
Yeah.
it's on credit, right? So you can actually call and say, "Hey, what is this?"
Yeah,
and then they
and
will
your-
manage on that.
Your
end.
own money is not affected because
Yes.
I've had
Yes.
fraudulent transactions on my debit card before, and that money gets taken out immediately from my bank account.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and recently I learned from some other people, right? So there are a lot of new payment apps out there where you can create multiple virtual cards, right? Right. So that is also one way to kind of mitigate that
Yeah.
whole like because you're spending on not say weird website lah, right? But like hosting website or e-commerce solution, right?
Yeah.
Then all these things are recurring expenses and you kind of want to manage it. You kind of build layers, right? Whether is it using a credit card or whether is it using one-time virtual cards, you kind of build layers to protect against a direct access
That's
to your
right.
bank account, right? So that
Yeah.
is also one way to kind of manage fraud. Yeah. What's so many good tips today? Ah?
No, actually, I think that's a really good point. Like, actually, what I do, I mean, two things I want to bring up, right? One is the positive point. One's like, I think we need to address the negative point. The positive point, I like what I do is like I love credit cards, but I have a like, and the people that listen know that I have an Excel sheet, right, which is readily available at financialcoconut.com, where I track my every month expense. And therefore, you don't make the minimum payment on the credit cards, you make the full payment on the credit cards.
Yes.
Right. And you can just time it
Don't
really
snowball.
nicely
Yeah.
with your cash flow. When you receive your salary, immediately just pay the bill and then put the rest into savings.
Yeah.
I think that's what you were alluding to when you said use a credit card like a debit card.
Yes.
But I think the other thing that could be really good to mitigate the sort of fraud protection besides the credit card itself is have another bank account. So if you have one bank account that is effectively your checking
Like the
account,
OCBC 360 account, right? Yes.
exactly.
Okay.
But then you have
Don't like that. Don't laugh.
but then you have a second bank account where your savings are in, right? That is really good mentally, I feel, and at the same time really good because you know that all the money is only going to be going through your checking account. Once it goes into your savings account, you're not touching it, or you're using that for investment, or you're using that for higher interest, or everything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so now my turn, right? I have the ultimate point. Okay, the ultimate. Everybody knows that I'm using this point, which is geo arbitrage, right? Essentially, right? So I don't stay here, right? But I still earn Sing dollar, right? I think in my pay range, I would be considered like median income in Singapore, but I stay in KL. Right, so actually my expenses, I mean, I went on Josh's show to talk about it. Right? My expenses are like crazy low. I don't know the comment section got attack me or not. But it's low. Like it's so low. Like maybe 1 month I will spend maybe close to 1,000 Sing at best. And it's not like I try not to spend, you know. It's like I try quite hard to spend already. Yeah, but it's just like that.
You try quite hard to spend. First time I hear someone say, "Hey, I really want to get rid of my money."
No. Okay.
But
So,
only 1,000.
okay, let me give you a bit more context, right? First is you can only eat so much, right? So it is what it is. You like how much more can you buy, right? Like it's only like that. So what ends up becoming the bulk of the household expenses will be like shopping or like experiences or like, cafe, all those things, right? But I don't know, maybe I'm a Singaporean still at heart. So I look at the Malaysia cafe, I said, cannot. The standard not there. Okay, attack me, okay? Right. So the standard not there, then I don't feel like spending. You know what I mean? Like, even though it's like half price, but I was like, no, this is not worth it. I'd rather go to the restaurant and pay like, it's like different. It's not about the price in itself, but it's the value that I get from this. If I can do the cup of coffee at home, which I am doing, then why do I need to spend out there? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not being a snob to say, oh yeah, very hard. I try very hard to spend. No. But it's just based on the way of life that I like and I enjoy. I ended up finding it quite a struggle to spend in Malaysia.
But I thought a lot of Singaporeans like to go JB to cafe hop.
Singaporean no standards.
Your standard.
And JB is very expensive now, is what I hear. Also, I mean, that's what I heard. I haven't been in a while.
Yeah. But it's true. A lot of Singaporeans like to do that, right? Then I go and try. It's like, hey, like cannot really. Like it's not. Maybe
Then where you
a bit
go,
critical, a bit critical, a bit critical.
You go kampong, kopi and all that.
Kampong kopi is amazing. Okay, but anyway, to me that is ultimate, and I see it's a trend, right? I see more and more Singaporeans doing that. You see YouTube channels popping out of like Singaporeans just living all over, right? Whether it's in Malaysia, whether it's in other parts, and they're just kind of playing the arbitrage. I know, not everybody can use this, but if for some reason your company allow you like, like flexible work arrangement and all that, right? And you can kind of stage this in a constructive way, right? Actually, you can, have a good run for a few years, and you can save a lot. Like every time I fly in the morning, right? So I fly in the morning for recording. Yeah, wow. I fly in for recording, yes. And then I'm at the airport, right? Then I see all these people with a backpack. I know they just fly in here for meeting. After that, they go already. Right? So, and it's increasingly common. You start to see more and more. Like Amo also, right? Yeah, it's a thing, right? So if you can play with that, right? If it's an option, it looks like it's something that you can entertain. It's gonna help you a lot. Geo arbitrage, man, it's amazing.
Would you put your savings in a Singapore account?
Of course, Singapore.
I don't know what's the offering overseas.
Yeah.
Right?
So I say specifically for how I do it, right? All my money is here. Well, of course investment is over, but all my money is here. I manage it out of Singapore, right? So I only kind of like spend as and when I need. Yeah, and then there'll be a periodic transfer into ringgit because ringgit kind of keep dropping lah, say, right? So it's a bit hard to keep holding on to it, right? Imagine every other month, your purchasing power keep dropping, right? But to be fair, if you spend in Malaysia, actually, if you buy the local products, it's much cheaper than international imports because local merchants are less susceptible to the depreciation of the ringgit. Right, so if you go to the grocery, then you see the peanut butter, right? Got local made in Malaysia and like import, right? The made in Malaysia one can be 30% cheaper, and the price will stay sticky, right? It's not as mobile, so it's quite interesting, and it's not unique to Malaysia. If you live in Thailand, Vietnam, any country that has a very strong agricultural structure, right? Actually, if you shop local and eat local, the prices are relatively affordable. And if you can explore that as an arbitrage to your Singapore salary, right? I know it's a big privilege, then it will benefit you a lot. Yeah.
Like I think that's fair. Right? Domestic produce obviously won't be perceptible to FX changes, right? I think I just went to Australia and the avocados were like $1 and they're massive.
Exactly.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah,
Let's take some of that, please.
Exactly. Yeah. And also additional tip for you is that if you fly out of Malaysia back into Singapore, actually it's very cheap. Because Singapore airport tax is very high. Singapore airport tax is very high. I don't know if you all know.
Yes. I remember it's cheaper to fly. If you take Singapore Airlines, go to a different site and then book it. Yeah,
so Singapore airport tax is crazy. So if what I used to do with my friends is that Singaporeans love to go Johor, right? Go JB, jalan, right? So I will join them. So okay, let's go. Then when they're coming back to Singapore, I will take the Grab to Senai Airport in Johor and then I'll fly out from Senai Airport. Right. So it becomes like a part day trip and like I'm just going off. Right. So the ticket cost, right, could be 60% difference. Because flying out, just by the sheer fact that you fly out of Singapore, the airport tax is pricey. And that's why it's a big part of Singapore's business.
Correct.
Right? So yeah, if you can fly from Senai Airport, good on you. So that is round one, right? I think everybody has quite a few good tips, right? So we're gonna go for one round of voting, right? So your finger will determine who gets the vote on your end, right? So in 3, 2, 1, then we point to whoever that we're voting for. Okay, who has the best tip? Okay, 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
Okay, win liao.
Hey. Of course,
It can-
cannot vote for yourself. Vote for yourself, I
cannot.
cancel you. Yeah. No, but I do agree because mortgage is one of those big expenses, right? That is very hard to negotiate.
Yeah.
Right, like makan, not say definitely can negotiate, but you can kind of manage it a little bit. But mortgage is one of those things. You sign up for it. That's a
Fixed expense.
15,
It's a
20
very
year
long-term
commitment.
really, correct.
Right. So I think for our listeners, if you can manage that a little bit, it'll make your life much easier. Right. So
And then you can apply our tips after.
yeah. And
Ours
then you
is
get
after.
you
Secondary tips,
compound
yeah.
effect, right? Compounded effect. Okay. But that was great. That's a good first round. Okay. And Josh
Well
wins the first
done.
round. Yeah. So now we're going to a second round. So the second round is about wealth accumulation, right? Hey coconuts, inflation is threatening our retirement, and from the OCBC Financial Wellness Index 2023, it shows that many of us are not meeting our financial goals. And I think it's a reaction to the reality out there. It's not that we don't want, just times are hard, but in hard times, it is not just about defending and tightening our belts, but also looking at what is out there. Are there opportunities that we can tap on to meet our financial goals? So I would like to introduce you to OCBC 360, which is OCBC's very own high interest savings account that can help you earn up to 7.65% per annum. Very simple. There are 5 interest categories. You just need to hit the different interest categories to earn up to 7.65% per annum. Some of the simpler ones, like crediting your salary, saving every month and spending through the OCBC credit cards, will allow you to earn up to 4.65% already per year, right? So simple strategies to go about achieving your financial goals. Of course, terms and conditions apply, yeah? And of course, this is insured by SDIC up to 75,000. So for more details, check out link in the description below, OCBC 360 account. Many of you will probably already have different OCBC products. You may want to merge them all and get this high interest account, right? So once again, link is in the description below. Check out OCBC 360. Now back to the show. And I believe a lot of people will accumulate for retirement, all those things. Like, it's a big part of why you even consume personal finance content to begin with, right? So, but in this process of wealth accumulation, a lot of people want to be part of your journey, right? For whether is it a product, a company, services, whatever, right? They want to help you in that process, but in the process, they also make money by extending that service. So I wanted to ask all of you, like, how do you manage your wealth accumulation process and be smart about savings through it, right? So that you don't spend too much money accumulating wealth. Does it make sense? Right, because accumulating wealth, you use vehicles, you use different things, and there is a cost involved in a lot of these investment vehicles or all these tools that are out there, right? So that's why I wanted to ask all of you, like, what is your best tip, to accumulate more and save less, save more in the process, of accumulation. Yeah. So after first round, you know that the smart thing is to start first, right? So yes, come. Who wants to start first?
Yeah, I'll start first. I'll start first because I think y'all can sort of push back and argue with me a bit on this. Mine is not so like a specific thing that you can do, but it's more like a general mindset to me. Because when I was starting out my investing like journey, like learning more about this kind of thing, I feel like mistakes are unavoidable. You're gonna make like costly mistakes that you might regret. So my advice to myself and to anybody is to just let it go and don't waste, don't waste, but don't spend so much of your time and energy thinking about the mistake that you made. There's that earn or learn mindset, right? With a job, you earn or learn from whatever, like a mistake or any moves that you make. If it's a good financial decision and you earn from it, then that's good. But if you didn't earn from it, then you learn from what you did and you maybe make changes and adapt later on. So that is a general mindset that I have, because it's going to be so painful for you if you're so like caught up in like, what if this is the wrong mistake? What if this is like a super expensive platform to use and I should have used this other one? That's like time and energy that you can spend on other things, like maybe improving your knowledge, reading up more, learning from other people. That said, I think when you're just starting out, focus on accumulating that knowledge first. Don't be too caught up on what is the best thing to do because you're just starting out. You're literally a beginner. Just have a basic understanding of what is maybe like the bad thing to do. Like, don't invest 100% in crypto. Like, that's maybe a bad decision. You know, find like what is the most boring but tried and true. Maybe investing in like an index fund, and then do small things every month and then build it up to something bigger later when you have more earning power, when you have more capital. So it's like many different mindsets rolled up in one, but basically don't get too caught up. Do like the boring tried and true thing and move on with your life.
Actually, doing the boring try and true thing, right, is something that I think is so boring. People don't stop talking about it, but actually it saves you a lot because it firstly saves you from the mistakes, right? We're not even talking about, this was saved like 0.2% year on year, or save 0.3% because you're optimized, blah, blah, blah. Those things are great, but the very fact that don't lose money first, right? I think that's a great tip.
I think to Lisa's point also, it's like many people think investments you should get a review of it. Actually, it's not true. You can review platforms, you can compare products, but when it comes to investing, right, what has happened previously, for example, a stock price, cannot be how you view it moving forward also. So many people get caught up. Is this better than that? Even if it's an index fund, is this better than that? It's usually not the biggest impact on the performance. It's usually why is it priced currently? That would impact the long-term performance. And many people get stuck on, is this better than that? And forget that how they execute their process, their investing journey would impact them more than whether this product has more fees or less fees.
I agree. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Okay, I go next. It's smarter to go earlier, right? So I think we all recognize that in the past few years, there has been a growing trend of our listeners and our friends using robo-advisories, right? And the interesting part about robo-advisories is that a lot of times the underlying funds are actually very cheap. Right, because it's broad-based index funds, right? So what people usually compare is, okay, you hire a human versus a robot is cheaper. Okay, so to them, and of course, cost is important because if you can kind of lean down the cost, you can accumulate more, right, over a period of time. But actually, you didn't realize that the 0.5% that you pay the robo, actually, the underlying fund can be 0.03%. Of course, right? So because a lot of broad-based index funds are that cheap, right? So and the thing is, right, when you pay for the robo, you still got to pay for the fund, like the robo holds the fund still charges, For why not you move away from the robo and just buy the fund direct? Because there are a lot of robo-advisors out there that just buy and hold the fund. That's it, right? They are not out there to rotate. They are not, and I'm not saying rotation is good. I'm not saying like momentum, all those things. If as you develop as an investor or a trader or someone that is more like shrewd in this game, you will play more and more strategies. But for the mass audience out there, right, which a lot of people just literally put the money there and they want it to grow and then they trust all this robo-advisory, right? The reality is maybe you can cut the cost by, even more, right? Just buying the underlying fund directly with the brokerage, right? So to me, that is an important thing that I need to put out there. People need to hear. You realize that they only hold two funds. You buy this fund, is 0.03%. You use them, is 0.5% year-on-year management fee on top of the 0.03%. Sorry. Don't cancel me. Okay?
And
Anyway,
that's like level 2. So that's where I want to be. I think I'm right now at level 1, where sometimes robos are really the easiest way for you to get started without all this like fear and intimidation of doing the wrong thing.
Yes.
So I think your level 2 is where people can try to strive towards. Like if they are interested in doing this and being more involved.
Great. And
Maybe I can give a balancing point also from the robo's perspective.
Okay, like
There's certain value also. Not that I represent them or anything like that.
And they also have to sponsor me. So yes.
The robo portfolio is supposed to give you that rebalancing effect. Maybe some have too. I haven't seen them yet. But usually what they do is they do that rebalancing, which is needed also because markets move. When you buy it yourself, you would realize you might neglect that rebalancing benefit to it. Then maybe the second one also is robos. Although they have an annual management fee, they do not have that brokerage fee. So it also depends on your size of investment.
Yes.
So if your size of investment is very small, your brokerage fee could add up also.
Yes.
Yeah, so you could simplify the process. Small amounts, you could still use robo. The annual fee might still be lower in certain circumstances.
So it's at the end, it's a numbers game, right? It will move towards when your portfolio size get a bit bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Then you'll be like, maybe not. Then you go and talk to them, they will negotiate the price down.
But then the rebalancing
Yes.
effect is,
Yes,
is
yes.
even more important, really. Right?
It is.
Because that's
it is.
where you maintain that risk approach.
Yes. Fair. So that's a good point. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. I think for me with wealth accumulation, I look really. I'm a really looking far guy, less than a 1 year, 2 year guy, right? Which means I know where I want to be in 20 years or in 30 years. From there, I find out how much I have now, how much I can invest on a monthly basis, and then I calculate my rate of return that I need to have, and it should be hopefully less than 5.5%, which is apparently the growth in an index fund on a 12-year basis or something like that. And then from there, I will then say, okay, then I believe this company is going to grow at this rate or that rate. And then I'll put that in there and just hope that it will, my calculations and assumptions are correct. That's really the way I try and wealth grow. Try and look at it very, very far ahead so that even if there's a small movement in, like for example, 2021, with all the tech stocks that dropped like massively, right? Yes, everyone kalang kabo, everyone scared, everyone sell. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm not thinking 6 months from now. I don't need this money because this money that I'm investing is for 30 years or it's for 20 years. And then with that, it makes my mental mind go, I can chill. I don't need to look at it on a daily basis. And I think that for me was the biggest lesson I learned. So I think a bit of background. In 2010 in uni, well, we learned options. So I'm a finance grad, right? Finance economics grad. And we said, okay, let's open up a brokerage account. Let's put some money in there. Let's try and gamble, right?
Gamble.
And I called it gamble. At that point, because I didn't understand the textbooks on options, I was like, screw it, I'm going to learn it myself. So I put some money in there, earn and learn, like you were saying. Put some money in there, and then let's just hope that.
I think she said earn or learn. I was like,
sorry,
you
earn
can-
or
You
learn,
can do both.
You can do both. Yes,
Earn or
yes,
learn.
yes.
And so we did that. But we were just very lucky that we put it into gold. If we had put it into anything else outside of commodities in 2010, which was booming at that point in time, we would not have made the money. And I thought, okay, I'm going to make double in 6 months and this and that. And that was all I was thinking about. But then when you look at everybody else losing and somehow literally struck gold, literally struck gold, and it's like, oh, wait, I think I better actually reassess how I go about my investments so that I don't have this drop that I could have had. So yeah, that's a long story of monologue of how I look at investments.
Okay, so is there a practical tip then when it comes to wealth accumulation? How do you kind of like optimize it, or manage the costs involved?
Manage the cost involved, that's a good thing. I always speak to people to find out what the brokerage fee is, what the management fee is. I go and read, go and find out. And is it per share? Is it, as you take the money out? Two things. One is try and find the lowest one. And I usually try and speak to my friends about it who are investing. Number two, also look at the FX, right? So I trade a lot in the US or the New York Stock Exchange and all of that. And I don't use the brokerage's FX rate. I might use an independent FX rate because they're going to give me a better rate. So I look at these things. For me, those are the variables, because when you're transferring it, that's where the bid-ask spread, right? They will just take the whole thing. And we need to be aware of that thing.
Fair. So you transfer to a US intermediary, and then the US intermediary has a better rate that can transfer back to Sing dollar, and then you extract it up.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You transfer into your Singapore account in that same USD.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I get it. Okay, yeah, interesting. So yeah, that's good. So your point, what is your point?
I come from financial advisory space.
Yeah.
So maybe in this space, I can share a bit more with audiences. What are typical problems that I see on the ground? So when I see cases, sometimes people have committed to very big insurance plans that suck up a lot of their cash flows. Whether they have a change in mind, whether that plan is good or not. I think the first thing that someone needs to be aware of listening to today's discussion is, before you commit to a 20-25 year plan, make sure that it's not too big of your cash flow. Because once you've committed and you want to exit, it's probably not the best idea. So there are some plans where most on the internet don't quite like. Read up on them, avoid them if you can, and just go with simple vanilla structures. Term plans, or if you want to buy whole life plans, they are not a problem. But usually the problem is when you buy too big a whole life plan. A small whole life plan wouldn't cost you too much, $100-$200 at most, as a base layer of insurance coverage would do. I've seen before people commit $400-$500. Then that sucks in all the cash flow.
Yeah.
And you can't exceed.
And especially when you're like first jobber, right? 20 plus,
Yes.
or like, maybe even like 30s, you still kind of like figuring out your income sources, figuring out your life. Then you commit to these things, like they become anchors.
Exactly.
Right, you cannot
Exactly.
shift. If like every month you have a few $100s going out, right? Okay, maybe 100-200 it's okay, whatever, you will find some way to get it done, right? But if you're flowing out of 500, which is not as uncommon as what people would like to think. It's quite common. I think I'm sure a lot of listeners, for some reason, have committed to some of these kind of plans, right? And it does limit your life choices. Does limit your nimbleness in being able to shift around. Yeah.
So a plan structure will lock in that cash flow.
Yeah.
Use them wisely. Make sure you look for right products. And don't overcommit to plans too long term.
Nice. So that is your tip.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. But just so happened, because I think the beauty of the OCBC 360 account is that essentially what OCBC want is they want you to bank with them throughout all the way, right? So from your savings, from your spending, from your crediting of your salary, all the way until investing and insurance, they all have the whole thing for you. And if you commit to the whole thing, then you can unlock the highest interest rates of the OCBC 360 account, right? And I think I wanted to point out, because you talk about insurance, right, that actually it's also part of the OCBC 360 account component. So if let's say you already have an insurance, which the thing is, they are a big entity. So for some reason, you probably have OCBC account. I have OCBC account. You have OCBC credit card. You have like a GE insurance, which is also part of the OCBC subsidiary. You have like scattered products of OCBC, right? That if you can actually open this account and concentrate everything, your insurance that you bought from GE can give you additional 1.2%, on the OCBC 360 account. Right, so I mean, of course, subject to the type of insurance, all these things need to be specific to the account itself. The one you got to talk to them, right? But the reality is, you have all these scattered things. If you can put together, you get a bit extra on your high interest savings account, OCBC 360, right? So I think there's that.
That's cool. It's almost like an arbitrage. Like if you already have these things,
Exactly. So
just go open the account.
Yeah, it's not about like, okay, now you got to buy everything for OCBC.
Yeah.
The thing is, you already more or less have a lot of things from them. It's just like chaplang everywhere. Then might as well you see, okay, whether I can piece together
And link it.
and link it together into the account. Then suddenly your account can get you like 4-point-something%, even higher on the first 100,000, right? So I think that's kind of how I look at it. When they approach me, I was like, yeah, this is how I'm going to talk about it. This is how I think about it, because they are not a small brand. You all have some pieces of them in your life. See if you can put together and unlock more interest rates. Yeah, that's kind of how I think about it. Okay, so this is round two wealth accumulation. We gotta vote. Who is the best? I feel like Josh will be the TFC, Budget Royale, for season 1. Amazing, right?
You're scaring me with that belt thing.
You have to wear photo shoot.
I will get the belt and do a photo shoot in the studio.
You can have a shelf like Wall of Fame.
Yeah.
With the photos of all the past winners.
Yes,
Done.
TFC Budget Royale. Okay.
Season 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. So in 3.
Wait, I need to think.
Yes. You need to think. Who you gonna vote for? Yeah.
I cannot vote for myself.
Cannot vote for yourself. Cannot vote for anybody but
But
yourself.
I feel like different people at different stages of their journey, each of our advice would resonate differently
It's true.
and would be more helpful.
It's true. So put in the comment
So
section
effectively,
below.
we need you to vote.
Yeah. Put in the comment section below. Who do you think gave the best advice? Okay. I think Spotify also has comment section already. You can put in the Spotify comment section, right? In 3, 2, 1.
So
Wait,
is
tie,
it a
tie.
tie?
Yeah. No, but Josh voted for you.
Yeah.
But I voted for him.
And I voted.
Oh, it's a
two.
tie.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, make your case.
Okay.
Make your case.
I mean,
come.
if I can argue for Josh also, it's because I feel like if I'm level 1, he's level 0. Like, here's what not to do. Like, don't commit a huge portion of your cash flow to plans that is only going to bog you down later. Then mine is level 1 when you're starting on this journey. Then I see you as level 2 and then you as level 3. So there's a progression, I feel. But I vote for Josh because everyone has to start somewhere. So that's my...
Okay, so now you tell what you voted for.
Yeah.
I think Lisa gave a good point on, not overthinking it too much. It happens more often than not, especially when someone's busy and just gotten used to not doing anything. So it's very good reminder that you learn through taking action.
Yeah.
And taking action is always better than no action. You realize.
Yeah. It's a good reminder as the organizer of this that, there's this thing, got Thai one.
What happens when it's even, bro?
Like we got 4 people. I forgot got this thing called tie. Okay, so anyway, so if that's the case, right, then each of you get half a point. Okay,
Okay.
Half a bell.
half a bell. Okay, so one and a half point, zero. Hey, we work harder, say right. Okay, we gotta work harder. So yeah, now okay. After we go through the first two, which is quite heavy, I would say, right? But it's good. You know, I love it. All of us share very good stuff. Let's go on something lighter. Okay, so third round is about recreation and enjoyment, right? So, and I think it's a big part of personal finance that is not usually talked about. A lot of people, when they talk about it, it's about maximizing miles, getting more benefit. I'm like, bro, actually it's the experience that matters to me. Not so much my savings on the process of the experience, right? But okay, because we are TFC Budget Royale, we do have to talk a little bit about how do you optimize this process while maintaining the experience, right? So, yeah, anybody wants to go first? Yeah.
I can start.
Yes.
Mine's a very practical.
It's
tip.
supposed to be practical,
Yeah.
right? Anything too arbitrary, never mind. Another show.
So when I'm thinking like when I go out with friends, right, or in general when I'm thinking about spending money to like for something that is entertaining or part of my
I
social
love how when you
life,
say entertaining, you look at me.
because I
It's
know you don't like the
it's
word.
It's like,
But
oh,
you know, I mean, a movie
entertaining.
is entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Um,
accept.
So I have this rule in my head for meals, for instance, when I'm going out with friends. I call it, I mean, I didn't come up with it. I probably watched it somewhere. I heard about it somewhere. But it's the pick one method. Say like the point of your meeting, the point of your plan is to like catch up with an old friend. And then you want to like sit at a nice cafe and get a drink and then talk. Then that is like your one nice thing, which means that, say, the dinner that you're going to have beforehand doesn't have to be nice. Like you can just go Food Republic or Kofu. So
I don't know how Food Republic is gonna feel when
No.
it's like, yeah, not it so nice like Food Republic.
Quite atas already. I was thinking S11.
yeah. No, but maybe not like.
We are losing sponsors and this thing is rolling. Less and less people will sponsor us.
Food Republic don't want to sponsor.
Yeah, I mean like that. Say like a Food Republic.
Like affordability is important.
Okay.
So like
so marketing, marketing.
Yeah.
Hello, financialcoconut.com here. Okay, yes.
yeah, so like limit like one thing and then splurge on the other. So that way you have a balance and you're not splurging on both things. That's how that helps for me. So I'm not feeling like, damn, I have to always like keep thinking, like maintaining my budget. I cannot have nice things. So just having this pick one mentality. So I can have my one nice thing and then I'll sacrifice what I don't prioritize. So it's pretty similar to, like, it's like plan, and a sub point also is like planning your social activities in advance. Like if you see in the month you're meeting like a friend every week, what is like and maybe 2 friends suggest like more expensive activities, then maybe you can like see if you can shift that the second expensive activity to the next month, like moving things around so that you're not spending so much in one month and you're spacing it out.
Okay.
But doesn't mean that you don't have nice things, or you just prioritize the one thing.
Fair. Yeah. But I got a better tip. Okay.
Okay.
My
Wow.
better tip.
Wow.
Okay. Simple one. Very good tip. Make use of public spaces. Okay. This is the tip that I don't understand why Singaporeans are not doing it. Right? It's like Fort Canning Park is beautiful. You know, like Tampines Hub is a great place to sit. Bishan Park is amazing. You know, I go there, sit down. I picnic at Bishan Park. Right, so I will ask my friends, okay, you bring whatever, then we come here, then we sit down there, then we like hang out and under the shade. It's so nice, right? And it's the type of thing, right, that you mesmerize when you go to Japan or like you go Taiwan, you go wherever. So, oh, we're gonna do this, you know, or like we're going to the UK, go to the right part, whatever, right? So people imagine doing this in other countries instead of doing it here. When actually a lot of these spaces, NParks spend a lot of money to spruce them up. And a lot of our public infrastructure is very nice, right? And I think thinking of how to use public spaces for your recreation is amazing. And I think that's the part of a big part of life and hanging out and socializing and recreation that people avoid because they think it's expensive. And if you go to like cafe all the time, if you go to all these like commercially run spaces, they are expensive on some level, right? But if you can unlock your idea of like, maybe I can hang out elsewhere, right? And make use of public spaces, make use of the very expensive beach, right? That every other year we have to put extra sand because Singapore got no natural beach.
Now we got
right?
East Coast plan. I tell you already,
Okay, got East Coast plan. But you know, like make use of all these places that are built. The state put in a lot of money to build up these spaces. Like Bedok Reservoir is very nice, right? Other than East Coast Park. East Coast Park getting quite packed. Changi is always very packed, right? But you get the idea. There are a lot of public spaces out there. Whether is it physical, like a physical building, or whether is it a more rendered public natural area. These spaces are free and they are amazing. Bring your own cup of tea, go there and hang out, right? And it's lovely, right? And you bring your friends, do what you need to do, and it does not cost much, right? So, and I think that's a big part of the Singapore life that you can explore, right? It's going to save you a ton, and you're still going to get a very good experience. And this is how I think about it.
And I think it's not quite talked about. Everyone talks about going to shopping malls or this cafe or that cafe or this place or that place, right? But NParks is actually really, really nice. We went there and I only know those 3 shopping centers, right? And then he told me some other Kuching Kurak place that we are supposed to go to.
Yeah, Tampines Hub is not Kuching Kurak.
No, not Tampines. We didn't meet Tampines
Oh,
Hub.
we didn't meet Tampines.
We met in some other place. It was about a 5-minute walk from the MRT. And I was like, wow, it's so close to Tampines Hub. But Tampines Hub was crazily busy.
Yeah. But I'm a big fan of these type of places.
Yeah.
I love these type of places. And there are a lot of public spaces that you can explore. Right? If you go for a picnic, tag us. Okay, I want to see the movement. Yeah.
Maybe I can add on to your point also because I have kids.
Yeah.
So, some parents, they spend on their kids on indoor playgrounds.
Yes.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
$20, $30 an hour kind of thing.
Wow.
So actually there are a lot of outdoor playgrounds also.
Yeah.
West Coast, I go there quite often. And it's also packed. So a lot of parents will bring their kids there, cycle,
But
climb
east
all the
side is
rope.
still best side, yeah. Although I smashed Tampines for 5 minutes. Right?
East Coast Park also has good
Yes,
slides
yes,
also.
yes, okay.
So a lot of big public playgrounds to bring them to.
Yeah, I can go. I think for me, I also, we all know in TFC, at least from the previous few episodes, spending money is very tough for me, right? I
It's
try
an
and
emotional thing.
it's an emotional thing, right? I try and plan for my retirement, therefore lose out on the short term. But one thing that I have tried to do and am doing is how to enjoy myself without spending money or spending a lot of money, right? Now, you talked about open spaces or public spaces or NParks. I instead call people to my house.
Oh, his house is very nice. Yeah.
So fortunate enough, there's 2 of us, right? Again, different phases of life, right? If I had 2, 3 kids, I probably wouldn't be calling the guys over to my house. But so we got effectively, whenever I look for a house or whenever I look for a place, it needs to be big enough to entertain. The kitchen must be of a decent size, and of course, it must have a living room area. What I do instead is I have all the machines in the house, and then I just call people over. You want coffee? I have.
Come.
You want pizza? I have.
Come.
You want this? I have.
Come.
So why do we need to go there? All you need to do is to just come to my place.
Yeah. This is the address. But it is a very nice place. And then like you buy that one time like board game, right? Then you use across like 5 years, right? Different group of friends play together.
Absolutely.
It's amazing, right? And I
Yeah,
think more
so-
people should do that.
And so I think that's the best way. Yes, I pay for electricity. Yes, I pay for the coffee beans and so on and so forth. But for me, that's very marginal because that's value I would take to meet my friends and spend time with them.
Yeah.
And I don't need to fork out $40.
Yeah. And it's communal, right? And I think the communal element of recreation is very important, right? Like your friends, when they come over, they will bring stuff,
Yes.
all that, right? So it's like, okay, everybody bring a bit, chip in a bit, and then it's a great experience, right? So that's lovely. Nice, yeah.
So Rakaesh, what would make you spend more money in future once you've reached your financial independence goal? Would you imagine yourself to relax a bit more on that front?
Wow. We're going deep here, guys. This is nothing to do with it. Yeah, but you see, like, it's so weird because whenever someone says, what is your dream car? I will tell them a Volkswagen Golf. Right? Usually when someone says, what's your dream car? It's a Ferrari lah, or a Lamborghini lah, or a Aston Martin or whatever, right? I guess I try to, from a young age, I already limited myself what my dream is. I mean, a Golf, yes, it's expensive. A car is expensive. I don't own a car or anything, but it's not what you would say is a massively dream car, right? So yeah.
Okay, come.
Yeah, maybe I can go in the other extreme because, Rakaesh, you invite friends to your place. It got me to think, recently my wife met up with her schoolmates and they went to a very atas restaurant. And so what happened is she decided not to call me along. A lot of times we have a same wavelength. If you have a partner, it's good to be on the same wavelength. And because one meal over there will cost you $80, $90 already. So the hack that we usually do for these expensive gatherings is you don't bring your other half along.
Mm.
It's okay also. But if it's the basic one, go housewarming, yeah, sure, I'll definitely join in.
Yeah.
In fact, this time I was thinking, hey, I haven't gone to somewhere nice, you know. But no, very expensive, very expensive.
And if it's her friends also, then
Some of her
saving
friends
you time. lah.
come along with their spouses also. It depends on your own style. lah. So I realized 80-20 rule, if these big items are off, it's quite easy to trim.
Yeah.
Because the economic rise, you can't trim that much already.
Yes,
Correct.
It's this
exactly.
big.
It's not economic anymore. Right.
Atas
yeah.
gathering, then one bill is so expensive. Then
Yes.
maybe it's okay that you go alone, kind of thing.
Yeah,
So even applies to maybe like wedding
Yeah.
kind of thing. So if you bring a plus one, you expect to give a bit more ang pao.
Wedding is a complex subject. Like Chinese wedding needs to stop.
Yeah.
This kind of thing. But that's a different episode. Right? Yeah.
Actually, like I completely agree. And now it's wedding season, right? Like everyone was getting married in 2023.
We're in the age, lah. We're in the age group.
And I think because Dragon Year, right? Coming up.
Oh, okay.
My thinking, I don't know. Maybe I think too far.
I don't know. I just feel like we're at the age group.
I think it's age group.
Yeah,
Age group
a
based,
lot of our
age
friends
group
are getting
based,
married and all that. Yeah. Soon you will have the Mansari, all those things will start to come. Right? It's part and parcel of the game. So yeah.
Be selective when it comes to group gatherings. Whether you want to bring a plus one or not, decide on that.
So yes, this is a short one. So yes, last round. So your vote is important. It is sacred because your vote will determine season 1, the very first inaugural TFC Budget Royale, right? Okay, so ready? Okay, in 3, 2, 1,
my.
I
You
win!
won.
I win! Say, but I still lose the game. Lah.
Yeah. So what is it? Is one
and a half,
Ah.
0. Okay,
0.
you're officially
Cannot.
fired.
Yeah.
You got a whole coffee session already.
Gone already.
Yeah,
Time
but-
to leave.
But okay, but please, before we end, why me? Let me feel sure. Come.
I think it's something that we don't speak about enough. And I think we have so many spaces in Singapore that we don't speak about enough because I think marketing and advertising, we're all marketers' dreams, right? We all just go to that place to get cool aircon.
It's true.
And most probably because these places like NParks don't have aircon and everybody just wants to go into the aircon because you kind of sweat, right?
But Bishan Park is extra windy. Just saying.
Yeah.
It's very
no
windy.
need. I got you.
Yes.
But
Saturday, Sunday morning,
what
about
we
8
don't
a.m.
what
you
we
go
don't
there,
realize is like if you go to that or if you go to Bukit Timah or if you go to other places, the trees actually shelter you.
No,
from
Bukit
the sun.
Timah is very hot. Just saying. Okay, yes, please. I've tried everything. The 2-year lockdown, I tried every part. Right, everything you can try.
Macritchie is very nice because I've walked there.
Okay, Macritchie
in
is
such a
better.
hot
Yes,
day,
yes.
you will still feel the aircon because the trees are the ones covering it. I went to Sungai Buloh as well. Like it was really quite nice. And I think we just got to find these spaces, right? And then we can effectively enjoy it a little bit more with a bit more catching in our wallets.
Yeah, I love it. The idea of using public spaces. And it's so strange that we just don't think about it, right?
And our
To-
public spaces are not kuchang kurak,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very nice, We
think-
always walk past like, wow, like nice, but we
compared
never
to
sit
what
there.
my-
We
Yeah.
never ever sit there.
And I don't know if I'm stretching a bit, but think people are more insular, not just in their thinking of like how they perceive each other, but also what is acceptable or what is good enough. It's like now when I look at young children don't really play at public playgrounds anymore because parents are very paranoid about them getting kidnapped or something. And I mean, my parents loved me, but they still let me go and play at the playground. And I think that has translated in my adult life. Like, I don't really I see the outside as like, compared to the inside, it's somehow less. But I miss out, like every time I get the opportunity to go to Botanic Gardens or to it's always like a special event. So
You don't take the time or plan to go to these places.
yeah, like I don't think let's meet up at Tampines Hub
Yeah.
and just sit there.
Yeah, you can meet me at Tampines Hub. Tampines Hub welcomes you.
Thank you.
Macam I am.
Don't you stay in the West?
I stay in
Yeah,
the
that's-
West.
Oh, that's not happening. That's not happening
West Coast
anytime
Park
soon.
welcomes me too, right? Okay, I will find a day to go to West Coast Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think taking the time to explore and see like where you want to go, like, what you want to explore.
Mm.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I need to be reminded.
Yeah, and just shout out to the random pavilion at Tankaki MRT station. There is one very random pavilion at Tankaki MRT station on the other side. Just go and find that pavilion. It's very nice. Got the granite table there. Like very random one. I don't know why there's this stretch of park there with a pavilion and a granite table. It's like a perfect place for like 5 uncles sit there, play chess and talk. You know, that
You know,
type.
the uncles had something
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Like they knew what they were doing.
They
All these
knew,
public
they
spaces
knew.
underneath the void
They
deck.
knew.
But I think you need a friend like Reggie to suggest these places, because your average friend group, I think, would suggest like a mall
Yeah, a
or
cafe.
somewhere air
Cafe or something
conditioned.
atas
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
MBS or
someone
something.
needs to push for these, like one friend. There needs to be that one friend who will explore
weird
a
one
random
friend.
MRT station to find a pavilion.
The one apparently doesn't live in Singapore.
Yeah. No, I walked from Newton all the way to Beauty World before because
Oh, wow.
COVID, nothing to do. So yes. Great. So in other words, okay, the winner is Josh, right? So Josh,
Yes, well done. Well done.
Yeah. So you come here for a photo shoot. I will build a belt for you.
Hey, Rick, you know, financial advisor.
Yeah. I mean, no. I think he has very good points.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
Right,
I can
yeah.
do a slight closing
Yes,
part. I
please.
was thinking of Lisa's point actually. Lisa mentioned about choosing one thing and making your choices for a month, something like that. I think it resonated with me because that speaks about discipline. When you spend on something else, you automatically have that inbuilt discipline too. We all have our own methods how it should be, but I think it still resonates around the point of discipline. You overspend on one, it's fine. Then you automatically find your other ways to average it lower. You can find your own style in doing it.
You see words from the inaugural TFC Budget Royale champion.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah.
Well done.
Okay, that's a great ending. Yeah. If any of you would like to, comment in the comment section below, check out their YouTube channels, and then we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Yeah.
See ya.